Star vs. the Forces of Evil is the property of Disney, Darren Nefsey, and all respective owners. Any and all images have been used for the sole purpose of critique or parody and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release.
Hey, how are you? I'm Slice of Otaku, and it's time for the review. Now, this episode was a little weird and a little wild, just like the opening theme says. It dealt with the concept of parallel worlds, in this case, parallel timelines, which is something that has always fascinated me within fiction. Growing up, I loved it whenever shows would approach this subject, so this really appealed to me personally. For the most part, this episode takes place in the classroom with Star as the main focus. This is also Jackie's first on-screen appearance since Bon Bon the Birthday Clown. And seemingly more so than anyone else, she's exhausted, which is something I think a lot of us can relate to when being in math class. But unfortunately, we don't really get anything out of her in this episode. The conflict stems from Star being unable to complete a math problem, which goes from basic to extravagant when this sequence of events continuously repeats itself. Each time, Janna's hat changes and Marco scolds Star with a slight variation in his words. When Star notices the reversion of Miss Skolnick's monster form to her human form, she draws the line and decides to consult Father Time, who we've met in the episode Freeze Time. She actually reaches his dimension by cutting into it with Marco's newly acquired scissors, which is understandable, but I was honestly hoping he'd have them on his person like Star holds her wand. And while we're at it, there doesn't seem to be any noticeable differences in Marco's behavior just yet. He's always been a responsible person, so I'm curious if this will be heightened, left the same, or lessened. In the last episode, he was wild and outlandish, but in this one, he seems virtually the same. But maybe this is him attempting to phase back into what was once normal, who knows? Turns out, Father Time is the wrong guy to consult as this is a space-time problem, making it within the territory of Omnitrax's Prime. He and Star have a pretty funny exchange, which reminded me of Shenron from Dragon Ball when it comes to lousy wishes. Now, I thought Father Time's role was important. But Omni though? Omni's role is so much more important that it's truly unfathomable. Everything within time and space, that's wild! From here, Omni tells her, and I quote, "Get up in my guts." Once inside, Star is able to see a few versions of herself from various timelines. Many of these designs, however, are sadly just designs of Star we've already encountered in other episodes, which made it a bit of a cop-out, and don't get me wrong, we received some interesting ones here, but why go halfway with this scene when you're attempting to convey something so limitless? Anyways, if Star doesn't manage to solve this math problem, all the timelines will collapse on each other and will be lost forever. Just think about that. The fate of every timeline is at stake over a problem in math class. This is by far the biggest potential crisis Star has ever faced, but is all due to something so minuscule. When Star made it back to her classroom, she decided to consult her alternate selves to figure out the answer to the math problem, which just made me lose my mind. Like, is this something we're able to do now? Is that how we play this game? Because that's busted, broken, overpowered, insane. But this is kinda unclear considering she actually ends up with the wrong answer. Miss Skolnick commends her for actually trying, and damn, I wish I had math teachers like that. The ones I've had would definitely try to talk trash. Now, I'm not sure if any of these events will actually hold weight in future episodes besides the meeting between Star and Omni. What I will say though is that infinite is infinite, so this episode pretty much made all fanfiction canon. And if you're wondering, two fanfiction artists for Star vs. the Forces of Evil that I am particularly fascinated by are Morning Mark and Spatzeline, whose Tumblrs I will link in the description. Really and truly, whenever Star is on hiatus and you need your fix, check their stuff out. But yeah, before wrapping this video up, I want to highlight some interesting designs that were present in this episode. We have Infant Star, Bizarro Star, Underworld/Tom Star, Johansson Clan Star, Loveberry Star, Kelly Star, Male Star, Hyrule Star, A Slice of Star, Kitty Star, Tomboy Star, Full Monster Star, Mermaid Star, Sheep Star, Donut Star. I feel like the character designers of this show were really given a ton of creative freedom with this episode. You can tell that it was a lot of fun to create, which just made it so much more fun to watch. Now, this wasn't really a plot progressive episode, but it was still fascinating and actually gave us a lot of lore in regards to Omni and his role in this world. It's episodes like these that you just really have to appreciate. Something else that I want to mention is that in episodes of this nature, creators tend to throw references to initial or dated conceptual designs of characters, but it doesn't seem like they've done that with this one. This was for sure a fun episode, so let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and be sure to share this video with anyone who's ever had a hard time in math class. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.